Have you ordered takeout lately and it shows up with one of these little wooden fork and knives that are really kind of a hassle to cut things up with, or a little wooden spoon that's so flat you couldn't possibly eat soup off of? Or have you gotten that paper straw, the dreaded paper straw in your drink or your child's drink that couldn't possibly be used for more than a couple of minutes? Or have you gotten one of those I forgot mine. One of those bags that I always forget to take into the grocery store that I have 400 of sitting in a closet in my house. We're doing all of these things to prevent single-use plastics from entering the ocean, which sounds like a good thing. But I've got some bad news for you. None of this is doing anything to protect our oceans. This is a solution in search of a problem, at least when it comes to Canada.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of a plastic, away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles sort of things.
Think about a world without plastics. Look at the phone you're watching this on, all the components in there. Pretty much everything in every room that you go into has some plastic components. It's kind of a miracle. We've made food be able to last so much longer on grocery store shelves and in our fridges. It's made everything that we work with more affordable. At a time that we have an increasing affordability crisis, plastics are the last thing that we should be blaming.
Well, today's announcement is much broader than just banning certain plastics. If I can do it faster, I will do it faster.
So Canada tried to ban single-use plastics from being produced or imported into this country. However, the federal court has ruled that that is unreasonable and unconstitutional. And I know many Canadians were happy with that court decision. Because did you know that Canada makes up only 0.02% of all the plastics that entered the ocean in 2019? According to the Liberals' own government report, 99% of all the plastics used in Canada are disposed of safely. That's not my opinion, that's just a fact. Now, it is a bit lazy of me to pick on these alternatives to plastic because they do suck. However, what matters here is whether or not these alternatives are in fact worse for our environment than plastics are. So let's start with everyone's favorite, the paper straws. Straws have one purpose in life. It's to take liquid from my cup and to put it into my mouth. But we all know that paper straws, they don't work so well at that. But the bigger problem is what they in fact are introducing to not only our bodies, but to our environment. A recent scientific study that says polyfluoroalkyl, or PFAS, which is known as a forever chemical, has been found inside plant-based straws in which we are using. The whole idea of these straws is that they are going to biodegrade in our environment and not cause problems.
High exposure to these two major PFAS alone have been linked to high cholesterol, ulcerative colitis, pregnancy-induced hypertension, thyroid disease, testicular and kidney cancer, and decreased response to vaccines. PFAS are what's known as forever chemicals. Studies have estimated they have lifetimes in the thousands of years, and that combination of toxicity and longevity is a real problem.
While the straw may break down, this forever chemical is actually leaching into our environment and causing more problems than the plastic straws they're meant to replace. So, plastic straws, they were the perfect scapegoat for the virtue signaling left. If we ban these straws, we'll save the tortoises, we'll save the planet, and we'll all be so much happier. It turns out, when you don't look at what the alternatives are going to do and what they're going to be, you have worse environmental outcomes and worse human outcomes too. And continuing on with virtue signaling, I couldn't believe I forgot about these little devils. This is actually public enemy number one.
Plastic bags will be banned with some food exceptions 1 year after the legislature passes a new bill.
A larger ban is in the works or has at least been promised. The Trudeau government says it will eliminate all single-use plastics by 2021.
So instead we have these. Or maybe this one. Or perhaps these real nice ones. All of which you and I both forget on the way into the grocery store and have to buy yet another one.
It's never ending, look at that.
Over the past 2 years, Udi and Natalie Sella have amassed hundreds of new, reusable Walmart bags, all from grocery delivery.
what a waste.
And according to another recent study, non-woven polypropylene bags like this need to be reused 50 times in order to be just as good as a plastic bag in terms of environmental outcome. I don't know about you, but I have about 4 cupboards with 50 of these each in it. And I can tell you, I haven't used one of them 50 times. There is no way that any of us are reusing these bags enough to actually be making a difference for our environment. But I know that this bag will get one reuse at least. It will be in my bathroom garbage can and it will serve a second purpose, and it will be very happy to do so. And the last piece of this war on plastics that the Liberals are running is coming after your grocery store prices. You know fruit and vegetables that we import from other countries, how they show up in plastic to keep those strawberries perfectly red and soft and not crushed? They want to have produce shipped to our country, and when it gets to the border, we're gonna repackage it out of the plastic into something else and expect that you aren't gonna pay more. You are. So Deloitte, they did a study on what the impact would be of repackaging all of our fruit and vegetables here in Canada. It turns out it would be 35% higher. Who in the hell can afford 35% more in grocery prices right now? Only the Liberals are out of touch enough to think that that is an option. Not only that, it would increase the amount of food waste by 50% and simultaneously increase greenhouse gas emissions by 50%. When I talk about lazy environmental policy that does more harm than good, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And this is exactly what the Liberals fall for every single time. But they virtue signal their way into making it feel like you and I, that we're doing something good for the planet, when ultimately we aren't. Remember when you saw that picture of a tortoise with a straw in its nose? We were all horrified. And the Liberal policymakers in Ottawa, they saw that picture too, and they thought to themselves, let's ban plastics. They didn't think of whether or not that made sense here in Canada, a country that imports a lot of food from the south in plastic. That's not to say that we can't do better, but banning the products that we use every day doesn't make sense. This is not the problem that we need to fix. The problem we need to fix is politicians that are more concerned about virtue signaling than following the evidence that actually leads to improved environmental indicators, reduced pollution, reduced plastics, and more importantly, more money in your pocket so you can afford healthy food for your family and your kids. Kids rather have paper or plastic. It's a no-brainer. So we know the Liberals' approach is wrong and lazy, but that's why I'm here in Parliament to tell you exactly what we're doing about it with my friend Corey Tucker, Conservative MP from Saskatoon.
What inspired me about my private member's bill 380 was my 2 boys, and they hate the paper straw for milkshakes or Slurpees or anything. They suck. And my bill respects the science that has shown that paper straws are actually worse for the environment, worse for your health, and worse for our economy. So I encourage everybody to go online, support my bill 380, and we are going to make the change that we are desperately needed here in Canada.
And that's why I'm so proud to support Bill C-380. I encourage you to call your member of Parliament, whether they be Liberal or NDP, tell them you support it, sign the petition at the link below, and show that we need plastics in this country, both for a happier life and a healthier life. And as always, thanks for watching.